Sugar's got his coffee. I got my PBR. Cheers to that. 50 followers.
Tea.
Oh, tea. Whoa. Sorry.
But I'm still hustling.
Ah, yes, he's hustling. And mine is around here somewhere. I have Eat, Pray, Slay. We found these like really weird coffee mugs at Walmart, and I'm like, what the hell does Eat, Pray, Slay mean? Why on earth is there a coffee mug that says that? And I walked around Walmart, and I was like, fuck, I gotta buy it. It was like $4, so. I remember texting my wife, I'm like, look at this coffee mug. And she's like, oh, that is the stupidest shit I've ever seen. I'm like, I know, I bought it. It is absolutely retarded. Okay, now the decision right now is, do I wash this whole thing and then go in and do the separate colors, or do I do, you know, maybe on the sides? I like what the World War II stuff doing a nice yellow base, because it yellows it. I mean, it definitely affects the colors that are on top, and I don't think, like with the mosquito, I have any areas that are going to be super bright, so, you know. I will not drink out of anything ceramic from China. Ask me sometime why. All right, I'm asking you now, why? Yeah. Oh, well, it's definitely from China. I mean, even with the saying like that, it sounds like they let the factory come up with the slogan. Eat, pray, and slay. There we go. I'll let you guys take a look at it. Level with the camera. I like how it's balanced. I really like as opposed to the initial sketch kind of had, you know, maybe a little bit of the praying mantis kind of look to the arms, but now that I've like really, you know, separated these two more and gave it that kind of mantis, almost like cleaver, more of a pointy, almost like Asian look to it. It definitely looks more praying mantis-like, and the process involves lead. Okay. Yeah. I'm definitely risking lead poisoning in order to drink out of a mug that says "Eat, Pray, Slay." All right. Where do we start? Let's you know.
Trying to kill myself slowly.
Yes, Sugar's trying to kill himself slowly.
And painfully.
And painfully. He wants to die painfully. From China.
From China.
He wants death in a cargo container, and then they can bury him in one. It takes great skill to make sure the lead's processed properly. Ah, okay. Yeah, they tend to phone it in over there. This is a little more sunset-ish. We'll get some yellow going, throw in some orange, and I don't think I'm going to touch this background, though. I think I'm going to do the yellow and fade it in. And then, so this will be super bright in the back, and then all those oranges and whatnot will kind of come in where the browns are on the trees. So, and in fact, I might do these trees first, and then that way I've kind of got all the framework done, and then I'm just kind of working in the center. So, you know, the nice finish on anything ceramic is from lead, but it requires technical expertise, which I don't trust the Chinese to do. Interesting. That is very interesting. Oh, there you go. Not all who stream are as dedicated as you. You belong in a new class of streamer known as Twitch affiliates. Take part in the program and start earning on Twitch. Affiliate onboarding. Set up oh yeah. All right, I'll have it set up by tomorrow. 2-factor authentication, all that, you know. But yes, I've already got the invite to become an affiliate. And it specifically said, because no one paints mosquitoes like you. I don't know where they got that from, but, you know. Danthus, thank you. Yeah, awesome. Thanks to you. You were one of them. One of them who hopped in and got that follow. So we're off and running. Yeah, like over the next couple weeks, I'll start working on, you know, beefing up the feed, and I don't want too much shit going on my OBS display on the main window. So forgive me if there's not like all sorts of feeders, information running along the screen, or I just want people to see the art. So if you're into that, go over to the Jub Jub. That guy has like 87 memes going on at once, and it is pure psychosis. That's awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. And I will hop over to the Creative Nation, and I'll check all you guys out, and I really appreciate it. Appreciate helping to get me to affiliate. And Moonwitch, of course. I mean, she was one of the first people to find me a couple weeks ago when I jumped on, and Cigar Czar, you might have been #1, but yeah, just everybody that's paid attention. Might be time to smoke a fine cigar. I happen to have 3. Sugar's gonna smoke some weed right now in honor of all the people from Discord and Cigar Czar and everybody that helped me get to affiliate. And what strain are we smoking?
I'll smoke some duh.
He's gonna smoke a strain called Duh. Appropriate. You stumbled, yeah. Yeah, and the affiliate thing's cool. I'm not, you believe me, this isn't my day job. You know, you know, I'm not worried if people aren't subbing or whatever. It's just cool to get there, and if people do want to, you know, it will definitely allow me to set up some perks for those who sub. So, actually, I think the only thing it really does is make me have to do more work, because now I got to go set up some shit. But yeah, I like the fact that it's, you know. And with the TwitchCon, I mean, hopefully they bump me up because I'm an affiliate now. I know there was like a point system for getting the booth and all that, so I just want to make sure that I do this right. There we go. Yeah, well, you know what? Let's just kind of fade this yellow in, so it's almost like a projector. Yeah, emotes. I know. People go crazy over that shit. I got emotes. I'm like, all right. So I'll have to come up with some cool emotes. Maybe I think maybe they'll all be Satan related. Or I don't care how devil happy you are. You're Satan happy. You're gonna cry, Satan. You're gonna laugh, Satan. Oh, I'm sure there's a million accounts that have already done that. So I will come up with something unique, and I will use my own art and all that stuff. So yeah, with Satan. Yeah. All right, Sugar's taking a hit right now. Thanks everybody. This does for you. All right. So just scrubbing in the back color. Get that kind of weathered, aged look, really bring in the darks, almost like an old movie screen, the old-timey movie that was faded on the sides. This also seals up that ink and kind of primes the white canvas as well. Just make some small pieces and PNG them from, yeah, I mean, you know, I've also got like, I've got a lot of the images for like my hat pins that are just vector. I got one of the Hatter, one of the Cheshire, one of my Michelobio Alien. I mean, I've got a couple of them. That basically, you know, I'll do small sketches, ink it in, and just put it in a vector program online and drop in a couple colors. So I think I've actually come up with a style of hat pin by not knowing what the hell I'm doing. So I think it might work, but, you know. I'm going to do a little bit of splattering, and you know what time it is. Yeah, I've got plenty of existing stuff that I can use, I'm sure. I mean, I got my brand new logos even vectorized and ready to roll, so I could use that as a special emote. In fact, that actually might be a cool one to have, is like showing that someone's a subscriber. I got this pen bomb logo with my initials that I've been using. You got a business card over there? Where's that damn logo? There you go. You can kind of see the logo right there. So I sketched it out, and then my buddy drew it. So it's a bomb with a pen nib and then my initials. So that's the new logo I've been working. So I'll emote that. Maybe that'll show that you subscribe or whatnot. $30 US for emotes. It's by the time I convert to Aussie, I was like, really? This is it? Oh, nice. You're down in Australia. Cool, cool. I went down there for, 3 years ago? Went down for a couple months. Or, excuse me, went down there for 1 month. And 3 weeks in Brisbane and a week in Sydney. And did a bunch of Comic-Cons and live painted at a bunch of nightclubs. And it was absolutely amazing down there. Your guys' country is unreal. Quality of life, the food. $50 for a case of beer is a little bullocks, but I know you got, you know, with the U.S. conversion rate, it was it actually worked out for me. So yeah, so we'll get off. Here, while that dries, let me like I say, privacy. What's my? Oh, okay. Just gonna let that dry. Did I do that? Oh. Oh, and there we go. 1, 2. All right. Whoop, there's my dashboard. There we go. One side of Hunter's eyeglass. Oh, yeah. Nice. And they stay away from me. Yeah, I never understood that. I did see a huntsman spider when I was down there, and yeah, fuck that. I was not happy, but you know, I thought it was cool at the same time because I'm like, whatever, you know. But it was funny because my host, the guy hosting me down there, was like, we had, of course, been out drinking that night, and we came home, and I got out, and I looked, and I was like, holy shit, what is that? And he's like, oh, that's a huntsman. And he's like, it's all right, man. Most it'll ever do is jump on you. And I'm like, fuck you. I'm like, I literally went around the other side of the car to get to the house because I was like, I don't even want to be anywhere near that thing. And it was funny because he hadn't seen one in years, so he was like, you brought one out. And then I go up in my bedroom, and there's like a giant spider above my pillow, and I was like, okay, someone needs to go in there and kill that thing too. So, you know, no, sighting animals and how deadly they are is definitely not an excuse not to visit Australia. Like, it is amazing down there. I didn't have a bad meal. I had fun. The people were awesome. I sold a bunch of art. Everybody was super cool and friendly. And you know. We even did I did an art battle down there. There's this thing called oh, I'm gonna forget the damn name. Scribble Slam. That's it. And so the idea is it's a 7 by 7 foot wall. There's two of them, and they bring two artists into battle. And so it was me and this guy Falcor, who was an amazing artist down there. And so what I did is, I was like, well, what is it? And it's like, you have 90 minutes to do a 7 by 7 foot wall. The spray paint company and paint marker company sponsor it. They provide all the supplies. So it was really cool. And you have 45 minutes to do do work, and then you have a half-hour break, and then you have another 45 minutes. And then so what I did is I found out that the guy hosting me in Australia was actually friends with the artist I was battling. So I met him the week before the battle, and I said, hey, let's do something cool and not tell the promoter. I said, maybe I'll be that American that comes down and doesn't want to battle. But I said, let's switch during that break, and you hop on mine, and I'll hop on your wall, and we'll just do two big, giant collaborations that night. And it worked out awesome. We didn't tell the promoter what we were doing. And the cool thing about it is we kind of, because you don't know what you're supposed to paint until you walk up to that wall. And then they were like, okay, your theme is Wanderlust. And so I had to come up with like, okay, desire to travel and see, okay, how do I, and as far as collaborating with him, what I did is I said, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this giant creature with a TV for a head. So no matter what the theme is, that'll just be like a frame for it. So I only have to come up with like a quick thing to put in the TV. And so he did the same with his. He did like this whole scene. It was like a city, and then I could just add a couple of different, ideas. So he had a bunch of red balloons floating. So I went and painted fetuses and all the red balloons, and then he put this like time warp color vortex behind what I painted. So, and it was cool once we switched. It took the promoter a minute, but he was just like, I think they switched. Are they working on each other's paintings? And so it turned out really cool. We had the Blue Ninja there. I guess he's like a big graffiti artist down there. He's in a full ninja suit with giant katana paintbrushes, and he was the judge. And so basically we just decided to split all the prize money, and I couldn't fly back with all the paint markers and shit because they might explode in the plane. So all these graffiti artists were hanging around. They're like, what are you doing with your paint after this? And I'm like, it's all yours, man. I'm like, have at it. Have all the paint, have all the markers. And then they gave us like $100 in gift certificates. And I'm like, you mind if I just buy a bunch of shots? So we just went to the bar with like $100, and I'm like, okay, whatever this will give us. And it was like 14 shots of whiskey or double whiskeys and whatnot. And we just started passing them out. So that was an incredible night. And it was definitely fun meeting all the artists down there and pulling off that collaboration. So I was super happy how that played out. All right, I think this is dry. So we got our base color in, threw some water on there, started stripping the color out, which is one of my things. So we're ready to drop some more color in. So I think I'm going to go in and drop in just a wash on these branches. Get the brown, get like a light brown. Excuse me, going. And let me grab the brown. Put a little bit of brown in my fancy Chinette palette. And let's grab a smaller brush. Okay, so we're just going to hit the brown and a little bit of that yellowy, urine-y water. And then we're just gonna lay in some base coat. Keep the signs separate. I'll do those up in a different brown, or just to kind of give it the effect that maybe they just tore down some barnwood, or the signs got destroyed in the initial invasion, and we're just trying to put stuff back up. Little details like that. As cross stitches. Oh, you mean like needlework, like cross stitching? I know if that's what you're talking about. I've done me some cross stitching. My mother is huge into that and had me. I got into it when I was probably 13, 14 years old, and I stopped when I was about 16. I got into comics and painting and whatnot. Yeah, awesome. Oh, that's amazing. I actually won, I think, third prize at the Oatlands Plantation Children's Division back in the day. I painted a little owl on a tree branch, or cross-stitched a little owl on a tree branch, and then framed it up in a little treehouse frame. How very Amish of me. DMC floss is what I use. I think that's it, right? That's still the big floss company. I don't know if it's different down in Australia, but I know in America, I'm pretty sure that's the. Yeah, I've done some needlework. I've done all sorts of shit. I had a really amazing. Well, first of all, my mom was super creative, but I had a very amazing art teacher in middle school, and my high school one was all right, but it was time for her to go retire, not die. But you know. But just, yeah, they had us explore everything. That's how I found out I suck ass at sculpture. So, if you hand me a rectangular block of clay and I spend an hour sculpting it, it will remain rectangular. Yeah, DMC, cool. There you go. You didn't think I would know that shit, did you? Oh, I got a raid. Woo! Panda the Mandalore. Thank you so much for the raid. That's right, I saw you on earlier when I was working on some sketches. So I saw that painting got finished too. I believe I saw the Instagram pic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The raid is on. Doesn't surprise you. Yeah, I mean, as artists, I think especially at a young age, you tend to dabble before you kind of fall into your. It's something I wish I've been painting for 15 years now, and got back heavily into painting. That I wish I did do a little bit of dabbling in other mediums, and like sometimes I'll just jump into some mixed media, tearing photographs, collage work, throw some paint on that, add some barbed wire, whatever, Yeah, her new painting is awesome. Yeah, I saw the finished one on Instagram today. Watched a little bit of the process. I think it was yesterday. My days all blur. Yeah, I saw the dinosaur. Very cool. Yeah, I was there the day they were giving you shit about pronouncing dinosaur names. So, like, try and say this. You're, like, dead for a long time, Asaurus. Who gives a shit? Let's paint a dinosaur. That dinosaur looks really cool, though, too. Jurassic Park's out. Got to theme it up. All right. So as I put the base coat down too on the, you'll see I'm actually cutting into the paint with the brush and kind of giving it the texture and the layer and whatnot. So 4 different dinos. Holy cow! Let me check out that JPEG there. Oh yeah, yep. There's the hoop and the. Oh yeah, man, that is a flashback right there. I have not done cross stitch in a long time. That's rad. You should see my mom's craft studio. Well, she has 2 in her house, and she's I mean, just years of work and miles of DMC floss. And she still does a lot by hand. She does have a $6,000 sewing machine that has a bigger brain than most of us, but she still does her hand needlework as well. I always used to just start shit, though, and then not finish it and be like, I want to move on. I want to paint this other thing. That's when I knew I had to do something a little bit faster. Normally you work bigger? Cool. Yeah, normally I paint bigger. I mean, these 16 by 20s I've been working on. I like them because I get them done quicker, and it allows me. I've been needing to kind of build up my catalog of new work a little bit quicker, especially if these are just conceptual paintings. But most of my paintings are fairly large. I'm wondering if I can spin the webcam. I have a 9-foot painting here that I did. It's hanging on the wall. So it's a 9-foot U-boat with 2 mermaids and this big explosion and whatnot. But it's 3 3x4 canvases. Another chronic starter. Yeah, you know it. Oh, my mom used to give me so much shit because I'd be like, "Oh, I need this floss," and that. She's like, "That's not the colors that you were using." Oh yeah, well I started something new. And I'm like, I'll get it done, I swear. So she probably still has 10 or 15 of just those hoops sitting around, you know. Yeah, a lot of the bigger ones, cigars are, is like, you know, it does take a lot out of you to once you finish it, and I kind of like this with the streaming too. I've been hopping around subject matters, so I did a Hunter S. Thompson, I did the Alice in Wonderland, I'm working on the World War II stuff, so especially for me just starting out and being my 3rd week streaming, it's nice to kind of show you guys, like, you know, that I'm pretty diverse in my subject matter. And so if you ever do hop on and you're like, what in God's name is he painting? That is some ugly shit. Know that probably a day or two later, it'll be completely different. Or different subject matter, at least. I don't like pigeonholing myself into one, like, just pinup or just trippy shit. Sometimes lately it's been dictated by, like, what festival I'm going to, or like with the product line. I mean, I've you know, it's smoke shop related, so I definitely tend to make it a little bit trippier. All right, so we got some nice textures on that. Yeah, I mean, like I've said, like the walls behind me will eventually get muraled. I have 2 32-foot walls in my studio that are blank, and I fully intend to mural those up. And those will be fun because I don't generally do a lot of fan art or art that I don't have a license for or isn't open source. So like with the Fear and Loathing one, the poster company I work for has the Fear and Loathing license, and so you won't see me doing a lot of like Rick and Morty bullshit art or, you know, anything like that, fan art. But with the mural, I may do a lot of stuff that's influenced me over the years, maybe some writers and musicians and stuff, and kind of do some characterizations of those. So it'll definitely give me an opportunity to paint stuff that I don't normally do, because most of what I do ends up for sale. But and I'm a big proponent of originality and coming up with your own ideas. It ain't that hard. We all know that weird guy or girl. We can turn them into a painting. Yeah, and occasionally, I mean, because I like doing fan art. I mean, I like doing my interpretations of, because I can do some good parody stuff. I mean, and I know that's legal, so that doesn't really matter. But like, you know, there was a Star Wars show at Comic-Con last year in San Diego, or 2 years ago, and I did they wanted me to be a part of the show, and I said, yeah, that's fine. So I did an Ewok painting, and it was just the Ewoks distilling whiskey. So it was, I think it's on my Instagram if you scroll back, like, you know, 50, 60 pieces. But yeah, it was like a bunch of drunken Ewoks that are hanging on the whiskey still and getting sloshed, and I don't know. It was a fun piece, and then I ended up gifting it to a buddy of mine for his birthday. So it was, you know, it allowed me to jump into that Star Wars realm and work on something that I've been a fan of since the early '80s. Not to date myself. So right now, just kind of bringing in some textures on this bigger log down here. And there'll be a lot more line work, that I'll bring out. So, but tried painting for a bit during therapy during a rough time. It's turned out to be shocking. Same with drawing and all that. I went back to my cross stitch work back there. Yeah, I mean, it's always good to jump and experiment, and sometimes you're not ready for it, and but if there's always something to fall back on or jump onto, it's just I've experimented with some weird shit just to kind of take my mind to a different place, or perhaps help me come up with ideas, or like you said in your case, if it's a tough time, or if it's just a funky place in life. I mean, art should be therapeutic. There's, really no point in doing it. Or then it becomes a job. If who the fuck wants one of those? Sugar, do you want a job?
Nope.
Sugar doesn't want a job. That's why he works with me. I try and keep it very unjob-like. There we go. Yeah, fan art's cool. I mean, I've done my share of it. I mean, at Comic-Cons when people want sketches, or I've done some definitely some freaky shit. I mean, I like mashups. I like it when people kind of let me do my thing. I did a really cool piece of Boba Fett doing heroin and drinking with Hunter S. Thompson. That one went over real well with the client. He enjoyed it. But then I did one where, this cute little couple comes up and they're like, "Can you do a drawing in our sketchbook?" And I'm like, "Okay." And normally if people ask me, I'm assuming they've taken a look at my art. And at that time I was painting some really, really dark comics. So I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I did this cute little monkey, but like his head was gone, and it was on the other page. You had to turn the page to find his head. And the look of horror on their face was just priceless. I'm like, "I'm so sorry. Did I wreck your sketchbook?" And they were not happy, but you just can't please everybody. I thought it was funny, but there's one cross stitch I want to. It's like this proves I have the patience to stab things on. That would be awesome. Yeah, and I got for all the new viewers out there. Let me pop some of these. So that was last week's. Just to show you the whale again. Last week's. That's right. I finished up the. So you can see kind of this line work down here in the ocean is actually what's going to be same kind of line work, really heavy line work on the logs too, and then there's the mosquitoes. But yeah, just wanted to show off some of the new ones. I can see you're gonna. Yeah, and it's when you do find someone, I don't know. I used to do that where I'd be like, "Oh, I really like your style. Can you draw me blah 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 in that style?" And but I've come to liking more now, just letting them run with it. Like, "Hey, I want to sketch. Can you just, I don't know, do something you want to draw or paint?" I was thinking of an idea for next year. I was, and maybe some fan art could be involved in this. Maybe not for sale, but maybe as maybe I could do it as like an emote, or maybe a giveaway. I could do a sketch for giveaways and whatnot. But which is a little less gray area than than trying to sell it. But I did want to do like even maybe 6 months, 7 months out of the year, or maybe the entire year, but have everybody else dictate my career for a year. Like my entire year would be like, "What do you want me to paint?" Just to, and maybe it could just be like, if you do want me to do some sort of fan art, that could be just like the prize, or for who comes up with the best idea or whatnot. I love it. It twists the reality, let the imagination go. It's like, okay, so what's the cause of the swirling? Yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, it's a lot of action. That's why I splatter. I strip out color. Like, I'm not a big fan of lowbrow art, where everything looks like cotton candy. Like everything's all soft and smooth. Some of the art's amazing, and I like the subject matter, but I'm like, I just want some grit. You already know what I want you to paint. Refresh my memory. I should remember. You probably just. I mean, I've only been on for 2.5 weeks, so I should remember. And I guess for me too, I have the confidence where I don't know that I'm gonna run out of ideas. I mean, I've written so many of them down, and they all start compounding on each other. And oh, this would look good with this, and this would let's add to that. Let's bring this character into this and create a story around it. And so I'm hoping that still continues, throughout the years. Who knows? A witch dancing under the moon. Okay, all right. Now I feel like an idiot for not guessing that one. But we'll start the list. I like the brown hair girl with the blue skirt and with the polka dot. Oh, that's Vera. That's Vera. She's the girl right back here, the redhead. But that piece was what was it? It was the one with the machine gun, right? She's like a 50s housewife, and she's got the apple pie with the bullets. So yeah, that's Vera Vickers. She's my spokeswoman. So she's been in about 6 paintings. She time travels. She fights these little aliens called Micolobios that I created, and all that good stuff. But yeah, we'll definitely be doing more work with her. I was talking about it earlier. I may even bring these characters into the painting, or maybe she warps into World War II and then has to fight these guys, or I don't know. I'm all about taking all my creations and characters and kind of introducing them. They're all drinking buddies in my eyes. If you were created by me, you are going to be going to the same bar. So we'll scrub some of that out. And basically this color stripping process, right before the paint dries, throw a little water on, wipe it with a rag, gives it kind of an antiquated look, just adds another layer of texture. Maybe it's, maybe here it's weathered paper, maybe here it's fungus on a tree. So it can display itself as many different properties. But I like doing some of this, just kind of scraping it out and making it look like this has been around for a very long time. There we go. Plus I like the noise. Okay. Maybe I'll detail out the log. Let's do some ink work. Any excuse to do some ink work. The pie and the machine gun. Yeah, that's Ma Deuce. So Vera first appeared in a painting called "We'll Meet Again," and where Vera got her name from, if you remember the Pink Floyd song Vera, and then Vera Lynn is the lady who used to sing "We'll Meet Again," which is the famous World War II song, the British World War II song, and so she appeared in a painting with a Vickers machine gun, and that's where I got the name Vera Vickers, just combining them. So I did that, and I painted an MG42, and then I have some buddies of mine that are in the Marines, and they were complaining I didn't do the Ma Deuce yet. Where's Ma Deuce? All right, let's do Ma Deuce. Well, if she's if Ma Deuce is a 50 cal machine gun, let's make her a 50s housewife. And then to be overly patriotic, obviously the bullets have to come from a hot apple pie. And then I researched like 50s color palettes, and that's how I came up with that maybe there's maybe only 5 or 6 colors, or 6 colors, 7 colors used on that painting. A lot of times I'll look up like Sherwin-Williams paint guides, what's the hot living room colors of 1956 or color palettes, and that's how I got the color palette for her. So same with like if you see all the lettering on my my feed where it says about Facebook, YouTube, that's only like 5 different colors, but that's all 1976. What was hot in '76? Little funk, little disco. Oh, we're doing line work. Let's zoom. Let's see here. Actually, well, yeah. Pull that down too far. There we go. So zoom in so you can see. And then, these darker areas, it's just slamming the brush on its side to get that, there we go. And we're just indicating, just bark, shade in some of those lines as well. And just see how thin we can get it. Oh, let's put a knot. Why? Why not? Ah, such a horrible joke. Alright, we'll hit the top of that sign just to give that a nice clean area in there. There we go. More hatching. We'll hop back down. Yeah, this is this is India ink. So it's Holbein is the ink, and then that is a number 0 brush for all the fine line work. So that's not a pen or a Copic marker. It is a brush. I mean, when I started out in comics in the 90s, early 2000s, I mean, it was all still hand inked, and I really liked it. Really, I just love how, like I can do these thick lines, I can do thin lines, I don't have to switch brush size. That's why I could never do digital, and I know with some of the styluses and pressure sensitivity, settings they have now, you can almost pull this off. But it just has such a unique look to it. My first publisher, James Taylor, he's unreal. His inking is so clean. He was an inker for Penny Farthing for the longest time, and he actually throws the Tacoma Jeff City Comic Con that I was talking about earlier with a buddy of mine that jumped in the room, and we've done some dastardly karaoke together. But not like Frank Sinatra's My Way in Savannah, Georgia in May. Nothing like that. Sugar and I destroyed that. I don't think we're allowed to touch Frank Sinatra or Savannah again. Have to wear a disguise next time we go in town. They're like, why would you do that to Frank? Respect the dead. Respect the dead. Please don't sing that.
Respect us.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's a good point, Cigars. You know what? I was watching his feed the other day, and I he just had too many people. It was more of a daytime feed. Usually, if I catch him late night, he'll answer my questions. But yeah, I kept asking him like, "Do you use Holbein ink? Do you like what ink do you use?" And I never got an answer. But his ink, yeah, it did look like shit. So I'm wondering, drop him a whisper. But it could be, yeah. I just even if you're just gonna demo some ink work, I mean, it's like, come on, it's use some good stuff. I don't know. I'm very finicky about like what I stream and if I mean last night I was working on sketches for tonight, but I was also working on this goofy logo for a friend's yoga studio, and I'm like I'm not streaming that shit. Like, yeah, and he's more a penciler anyway. I mean, I know he does. I mean, I know he does his inks, but I know he was talking about how he sends it to an inker, um, or maybe that was just in one case because I think he does most of his own inks, doesn't he? Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I think about it. But yeah, his I don't think he uses really nice ink. Yeah. Now you're not being harsh, dude. Especially a guy like that, you should know better. He's like a 30-year professional. Like, you know. And like I say, I don't I admire and I appreciate anybody who is creative. I think it's a great outlet. Keep doing it. You don't have to go pro. It's a great release, but you know what? If you're going to put a price tag on it, if you want my money, then you need to bring it and you need to show me that you give a fuck. And if there are, like ink and paint and stuff like that will make the painting look better. I don't use expensive brushes because I destroy them so quickly. But unless there's hair falling out, the brush and the quality of the brush doesn't matter to me. I'm still gonna pull this off, you know. But I do use really nice ink for a reason. There you go. Oh, I'm way off camera. You're like top of your brush looks great. Yeah. And I thank that rep from Holbein for coming by Comic Con. I mean, yet another. I mean, I talk about how getting out there is one of the best ways to sell your art. It's also one of the best ways to discover technique, to discover supplies. Um, I'm not a big fan of like looking at other artists and going, oh, that's cool. I'm gonna do that too. But I mean, I've been doing this long enough that I'm stuck to my ways. But having that Holbein guy come by and see me using just that shitty Higgins ink and being like, can I offer a suggestion? And I'm like, you most certainly can. Because I'm getting all manner, I can see every brush stroke, and it's not flattering, and what do you got? He's like, the most opaque ink you will ever use. And the story he was telling me about Sergio Aragonés is he's like, he got him to use it, and the next year or next show or convention or whatever he saw him at, he was like, he was standing in a line and he was going to go up and say, hey, how do you like the ink? And I guess Sergio Aragonés saw him in line and recognized him and just started clapping. like, I'm like, that's cool. When you get the artist that everybody's waiting for clapping for you. And he's like, dude, that ink is amazing. And I've been a big, I'm definitely an Aragonés fan from Mad Magazine and all that. So if he digs it, There we go. Time for some more duh.
Always time for
I'm very particular about my cross stitch. I don't even sell it. It's like I need to be happy with it when we take it out of the frame. Yep. Oh yeah. Which is huge. Inker is huge. I used to only black ink, so I can immediately tell your ink was better than anything I've ever used. Nice. Yeah. Yes on both things. Yeah, even if you don't sell your art, it's like it's just about crafting something. It's, you know, putting the time and the effort in, and if you're gonna do it, you know, like I always love that story about Steve Jobs and whether he's a big asshole or not, but how the inside of the computer looked just as nice as the outside because he knew that it looked that nice. And, you know, like, what was the story with his dad? Like, why do we have to paint the side of the fence that we're looking at? And it's like, well, because, you know, finish the job, make the whole thing look beautiful. And pride, of course, definitely. And that's all I mean, at bare minimum, definitely put the effort into you know, taking the time to make you know, if you can add more detail and you know it'll make it look amazing, but it may add a few extra hours to the painting, like do it. You know, I see a lot of artists that just crank out their art and they're just like, why doesn't Juxtapose pay attention to me? Why doesn't, you know, why am I not on the cover? It's like, because I can look at your art and be like, you know what? I could shade this in. I could add all this texture. I could, you know, I mean, I could not do all this line work on this tree. I could make it work, but this makes it work. Yeah. Yeah, and even as a hobby, it's like, well, why do it? You know, you're spending time and you're spending money, and I don't know about you, but my time's fucking valuable. I don't think most people believe that of themselves, but you definitely need to. I usually do a minor change to the patterns, and that's my work. See, that's awesome. Making it your own. Modifications, customizing, all that stuff is rad. Yeah, I used to read comics and, you know, just be a total critic and, oh man, if I drew that, I would have blah, 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 and this and that, because that would have looked better. And I may not have, you know, been that caliber of an artist, but I think, you know, back in the day, I had, you know, when I was first starting out, I knew I had the eye to be able to pick out stuff that they phoned in and stuff that was actually nice. Yeah, years. Yeah, if you put years into something. Wow. That would suck to put years into something and then go, that's kind of half-assed. Kind of like having kids. You put all those years into the little bastards. And then they're just half-assed. You got to put the effort into teaching them and reading to them. No matter how much my kids drive me crazy, I think of that. I'm like, okay, just take the time, teach them to do shit right, or they're going to be the ugly painting on the wall. Fourth year of a project and it's still not done. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, the U-boat painting hanging above me was I was doing an immense amount of live painting at nightclubs, so my art was all my paintings were taking no longer than 5 or 6 hours. In front of people, while a DJ spun, while Sugar spun. We've been doing events for 15 years together or whatnot. But yeah, so that one I really wanted to sit down and be like, because I was like, I don't have any studio work. Like, I don't have any idea how good of a painter I am, which was a weird concept. Like, I painted every day, and yet I had no idea if I was any good, or how much better I was, if I had the time. So with this U-boat painting, I said I'm taking a 9-foot canvas. I'm gonna take it on tour. I'm gonna do a little bit here, a little bit there, and it was the first painting that I had spent. I think I clocked it at about 110 hours, and I was like, oh, I can paint like that. Crazy. But being able to put in the detail that I want, and actually having, spending some time and not feeling rushed was really nice. And from there I learned how to, paint a little bit more of the detail work and, a little bit faster or whatnot. But for when I live paint, it's definitely not all about like how fast can I complete this painting. Believe me, the other night with the MG42 machine gun painting, I fully intended that to be a 2-day painting and not to have finished it in one night. But sometimes you have fun. I have a drawing I just shelved I put a month into. Been there, done that too. In fact, that the painting with the redhead and the machine gun bullets and the apple pie and whatnot, that is probably 2 years older than it's dated. Because I drew it initially, I painted the girl, got the background in, went to draw the bullets, and completely fucked them up. And I'm like, I'm not redrawing these bullets. Not yet. And then at the beginning of tour season, a couple years ago, I was like, I need some new work. I really needed to beef up the new work I was taking on tour, and most of my pinup work had sold out. So I was like, I need a new painting and a new pinup painting. And I was like, okay. Let's figure out the bullets. So I buffed them out and redid the whole thing, or all the bullets. And then Max vs. the Octopus, there's a painting with a Zeppelin bombing an octopus on my website, and that was another one. I did it. It looked weird, so I put it aside, and a couple years later I went back to it, and I said, you know what? I used the same color schemes on this other painting, and a blue background worked. Bam, let's drop in a blue background, and it totally worked based off of just a painting I did several months afterwards, and then finally went back to that one. So, I mean, I mentioned H.R. Giger earlier, the guy who did all the alien artwork and whatnot. Dude, that guy, 5 years to complete an airbrush painting. I mean, if you look at his book, it's just like the dates on the paintings are like 1992 to 1997. I mean, he would work religiously on paintings for years. All that intricate work. Ooh, my Discord's blowing up. All sorts of notifications. A lot of people on tonight. There we go. Again, I'm working off camera. You guys gotta say something. Keep forgetting I'm zoomed in to show you the line work, and then I just drive the brush right off camera. Yeah, Giger's definitely one of my favorites. His documentary was amazing. That guy was nuts. Most are. You will be too. There we go. Where's the... Oh, okay. Yeah, bring the tree knot in, nice and thick. In the image stream that's repeating itself, there's one that has a lady with a house on her head and a little devil playing the flute. If you look at the woodwork, the log that the little imp, the little devil's sitting on, that's kind of where we're going with this. But that's a tribute to Stairway to Heaven for the cover of Herb magazine last month. So we did a little article on the recording of that song, and so that was my interpretation of the Zeppelin tune. Yeah. You got to be careful who you surround yourself with. All right. So you see the tree twisting up to that sign. Alrighty. I love the line work. We will kind of hit the side of the brush, and then that way it'll give that, you know, for this log, it gives me places to tuck in some lines where the bark kind of curves. Yeah. Yeah, my internet it's been hanging in there lately, but man, I went through a spell where it was like, come on, man, I pay for gig service. And I live on an island up in the northwest, so it's like when am I getting fiber service? They have it in town. They just haven't. I'm kind of rural, so they haven't gotten out to me yet. I grew up living mainly in big cities, so I'm just like spoiled. There we go. Nice little nip tuck. There. It's the worst thing, really. I don't know. I mean, I haven't had much experience with it. My aunt has it. She lives just outside of Baltimore, and it's phenomenal over there. I mean, like I'll play World of Tanks, and my ping will be like 20, whereas on this service it's like 118. I just want something that's consistent. I mean, if I'm gonna, you know, do this streaming thing, I don't need my stream health hopping all around like on that chart, like a person having a heart attack. That sucks. I mean, hopefully it'll even itself out. Stuff tends to do that, but, you know, I'm with you. You pay for it. I damn well expect the shit to work immediately, because they want my money immediately. And that's one thing I can't stand. People got no problem taking your loot. Alright. Make sure we get some nice thick outline. Lines on the outside. There we go. That's why I love ink on canvas. Just gets into that tooth so nice. Nice clean lines. Tough to get a clean line like that with paint. I know there's flow agents and all that other crap, but if I can just like dip right into this and use it, so much faster. Yeah, none of the black I use on my paintings is black paint. All ink. Occasionally, if I'm working on a really large painting, and there's a massive section of black, I'll use paint just to save me the money. At $15 an ounce. There we go. Get some shading in there. Am I off camera again? Sure am. It's kind of good though. Means I'm actually paying attention to what I'm doing. There we go. All right. Sugar's got the sniffles. Wasn't that shit I had last week? Wish I had this type of talent. 30 years practice, you'll be right here. Yeah, this is. I mean, that's why I like doing all this line work. This is my therapy. This is my therapeutic experience right here. I have to consciously sometimes make myself stop doing the line work, and or I end up overworking the painting. Like, whoop, just covered up that whole section because I just went apeshit with the line work. All right. I'll bring this little. There we go. So yeah, comes in, little nooks and crannies, crunches around, just curls around this big gnarled root. I like that. I got a bunch of trees like that in my backyard. I feel like Bob Ross. I can look at this and be like, yeah, in my backyard, I got big old trees that just have gnarled roots. No chance of a cabin, though. Yeah, it's be a nice little series too. A lot of times, I like doing series because people like buying a series. Like if I'm at the shows, like, oh, I'll take all the animal vehicles or pinups or. So it's always nice to have series in your collection. Steady enough hands. Those who may do. My son, he's amazing. Oh my God, he's 9. That's awesome. Yeah, my kids are starting to show some pretty immense artistic talent as well. It's always cool when they create something and just blow your mind with it, and you're like, what the hell? did I help create that? Makes you feel like you did something right. grasses that are popping out. YouTube's amazing. Tutorials, I mean, yeah, that's I still defer to, or refer to some YouTube tutorials occasionally. Like with portraiture, how to paint eyes correctly, or like if I haven't done it in a while, I'll just look up a couple, refresher courses, and you're never just there. You're always learning. And any artist that tells you otherwise is probably pumping out shitty art. Yeah, we're cruising right along on this bottom log here. Let's see. We'll pan out a little bit. There we go. You kind of see a little more of the picture, how that log really just kind of sucks onto that one, like, almost like the bottom foot of a snail. That kind of just flowy, organic looking mass. And I mean, the island I live on has just thousands of acres of trails, of hiking. If you Google Deception Pass, that is an absolutely just amazing bridge between the two islands, and you get an idea for where I'm at. But it's just, you see, all the fungus that grows, old growth forest, so I get a lot of, definitely get a lot of inspiration. Just walking in the backyard. There we go. A little bit thicker and closer together down here because it is curling underneath the log. There we go. all over the place too now. Keep it in the green, man. Awesome, awesome. I'm glad he's impressed. Tell him to keep on drawing. One thing they don't tell children enough. Like if they say, I want to be an artist when I grow up, why the fuck not? Whoop, sorry if you heard that. Why would you encourage your kids to have a day job? Artist, you're going to be miserable like me. Yeah, I don't have that luxury. I succeeded as an artist, so I can't like tell my kids they can't do shit. It's tough. I want to be a rock star. Well, you know, whatever. Yeah, go for it. I can just kind of show them how to do it responsibly.
They're going to be lawyers and accountants.
Yeah, I know. Thankfully, I'm an artist, so yeah, they may show up, or they may end up being lawyers and artists. I mean, lawyers and accountants. There's Dad in that art again. Shit, does he have to come over?
Shut the door.
Yeah. He showed up again in jeans and a t-shirt. Right? You totally see my... No, I don't know. My kids will do that. What are we at? 3 hours? Going into the third hour. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out. It's been a good night. Got that affiliate ranking, and appreciate all the new follows. I'll definitely be on tomorrow to finish this bad boy up. A little bit of hatching over here to even kind of set this one on top even further up. There we go. Add a little variation. Send your eye. Send you all over the place. Okay. So not bad. Working on the tree. Put it up level to the camera. Our Sherman tank centipede, or tankipede. Working on just framing it out right now. With these doohickeys for extra texture. There we go. Yeah, that really makes this look like it's sitting on top of that. Despite that little extra hatching. You know what? I'm going to put this thick line here, because I know that's where it connects. Okay, it's time to do that. Sometimes I'll darken in like where things meet first, as opposed to just continually working over, so I can kind of get the bigger shadows in, and it helps me determine where the smaller details are. All right. And then throughout the middle, we just do a lot more finer line work. A couple of little gouges, but mainly just this little noodling because it's lighter. So it gives it that kind of rounded effect. Okay. Go. It shows up so red on camera. A lot browner in person. That way, if you check out the Instagram, you'll actually see what they look like in all their professionally photographed glory. Or SeanDietrichArt.com. that nice and dark down there. A little hatching. Oh, cool. Yeah, thanks for popping in and checking everything out. And yeah, I'm on 9 p.m. 5 days a week. Thank you so much for helping with getting me to the affiliate too. Excuse me. And I'll hop on that Discord and make sure I follow all you guys back and check out some of your streams when I have a chance. All right. There's the tunage. I think Sugar had a Bill Gates moment.
What's that?
So I think Sugar had a Bill Gates moment. Little nipple of wood right there. There we go. There we go. That's an ergonomic chair, but sometimes I find myself hunching over in it. It's one of those ones you kind of kneel when you paint, and I can feel my spine Spine feels good. Sometimes I'm like, eh, doing the tilt. You use that massage feature a lot in your chair, Sugar?
Yes and no. More no than yes.
I was wondering if that was a constant.
It actually doesn't massage. It's the two most critical places on my back. So a not useful feature most of the time.
The massaging, non-massaging chair. Amen. Yeah, sometimes they miss the mark. Alright, I'm going to finish this inking up here and call it a night. And tomorrow we will get down and dirty with some color and most likely finish this. And then I got to come up with something else to paint for you guys. I actually have a Red Queen from Alice in Wonderland piece, but you won't know it's her unless you really read into like the subliminal. You on the floor? Oh, okay. There we go. Alrighty. Yeah, we'll keep this fairly light on this side. And we'll probably reflect a little bit of this the sunset that'll be in the background behind the tank into the on the edge right here. Alrighty. It's Wednesday? Thursday. It's midnight. After midnight. It is now Thursday. There we go. Duh. That was the strain of weed Sugar's smoking. Duh. Greatest name for weed strain, the more I think about it. Duh. There we go. Got my wood done. A couple more lines there. Alright. So let's pan back and review. There is the M4 Shermantipede. So, got it sketched, got it drawn. Decided to frame it up with a couple of logs, one of which is going to have Carentan and St. Louis street signs. Got the tank itself, which is the head forms the centipede. It's just a few teeth with the tongue kind of dopily hanging out. Got your praying mantis style kind of clippers on the end to take care of the hedgerows, and then the armored back, and then the tracks are his legs. Then we did a little bit of a picture frame here to kind of tie in and really frame it up. That way we can do a lighter color, a darker color, however, you know, make it pop even more. So I'm going to call it a night. Thank you guys. What a great night. I reached affiliate status, so I'll be working on custom emotes and subscription perks and giveaways and all sorts of cool shit coming up. So thank you for the raid, Panda, and Moon. Thank you for throwing me on the Discord for Creative Nation and having them pop over and help me get up to the affiliate. So, yeah, what a cool night. 9 p.m. tomorrow, I will be here. I'll be dropping in a lot more color. Let's get this tank done, and if not the whole painting, and I will see you tonight. Cheers, guys. PBR.